But one of my clients needed me, baby, and y'all already know. It's the business. Hey, y'all do me a favor. Y'all know the deal. Tap the screen, share the live. Tap the screen, share the live. Hold on. I want my green screen. Oh no, what I do? It's down here at the bottom. I was trying to make the fonts bigger. There we go. Can y'all see that up there? Instead of down at the bottom. I like whenever my font is large. Thank you for the heart, me, Charmaine. Okay, y'all give me, hey Mika, y'all give me housekeeping, so we can go ahead and get through that. And then we can go ahead and get into today's session. Hey Ashley, what's going on, babe? How you doing? Happy Saturday. If you guys know someone like, a good friend, a biz bestie, maybe if you maybe like a sibling, a child. Hey Tammy, thank you for the heart me. Honestly, anyone who you think could, could find find some type of benefit from this particular subject today, have them come on in. And the reason I'm doing this, so initially, y'all know, thank you. Thank you so much, Charmaine, for my 2025s. So y'all know it's the top of the year and I've been like resetting things in my business, reorganizing, resetting time. And for those of you that don't know, put it in your calendar. Wednesdays at 11:11 a.m. Central Standard Time is Wealth Wednesdays, okay? As of now, I will be doing those only on TikTok and YouTube. I'm strongly considering boycotting Meta. We'll get into that a little later. So you will see me on YouTube live and on TikTok. Okay, on Wednesday morning, 11:11 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's both Wednesdays. That's when we'll be doing business trainings. Okay, Mondays are mindset days. So anything around mindset, manifestation, stuff like that, we'll be doing those on Wednesdays now. And then the other days of the week, y'all just get whatever I give you, okay? So I could be live cooking, we could be doing community conversations, we could be doing business tea, whatever. Now, if you are inside of my Instacorn Academy and my Monetization Nation, we are getting ramped up. So you guys will be getting 2 sessions a week with me now because we'll be doing mini sessions or mini trainings. I'm a bit concerned when I look in the back end. I see a lot of you guys not finishing like courses and lessons and stuff like that. So we're gonna put it in your face. Like you're gonna get here one way or another. Okay. Hey Swim, thank you for the heart me. That's housekeeping number 1. Housekeeping number 2, text me. Y'all see the phone number up there if you want to be inside of my text community to know what's going on. And y'all, I thought I would have the Discord like open yesterday, but it's still not functioning the way I want it to. So y'all just pray for me that I can get the Discord lined properly the way I want it to and it functions the way that it needs to function. Okay. So I'm a little bit bummed about that. I'm frustrated. I'm like, maybe, I don't know. I may just need to face the facts that some of the features I want to have inside of there, maybe I'm not going to be able to have them. I don't know. But y'all pray for me that I can get that together. All right. But those are your notes. Govern yourselves accordingly. Oh, one other thing for those of you that do not know me, my name is Ashley. I teach people how to build their businesses and honestly just have a better quality of life. My content focuses primarily on money, mindset, food, and lifestyle. So that's pretty much what I do, and I like it, and it makes me really, really happy. And yes, my Christmas tree is still up. I'm in my formal living room. My formal living room is my favorite. It's non-traditional. It's really, really beautiful. And if people wouldn't call me a psychopath, I honestly would probably keep my Christmas tree up all year long. I wouldn't even change the decorations for the holidays. That's how much I love my Christmas tree, okay? Now, I am in the process of taking Christmas down in the other areas of the house, in the other rooms. But, if you're new here, you may be like, why is that Christmas still up? Baby, I leave it up to the last minute. I will not even probably start touching this tree until like January 30th or February 1st, maybe even out to the first week of February. I don't care. Okay. Trees up, mantles up, stuff on the decor. This is my favorite room. Okay. It makes me happy. I don't care who judges me. So just FYI, in case someone's like, her tree's still up. Okay. I do. Okay. I do. Everybody has their thing. Okay. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I'm cutting back on my carbs. So I haven't been eating cookie cakes and pies and stuff the way I normally would. So, if a girl just wants to look Christmas a little longer, just let the girl have her Christmas a little longer. You know what I'm saying? I don't even drink sodas, y'all. I drink water. And in the morning, I have tea with thyme and ginger. No honey. Okay, let me live. Okay. Other thing, if you guys can help me meet my live goal, that would be great. If you're on the battle team, when we get done with session today, if we feel like it, we'll do some battles. I think all our power-ups expired. We got on the other day to do battles, but nobody wanted to send a battle request. So that was that. Okay. Baby, cookie cake. I love a cookie cake and a pie. Okay. Sure do. No shame in it. I do. However, I'm having too many and I've had too many, and I don't want to be a person out here with my gut bigger than my butt, especially because I got a big old booty. Okay. So stomach on flat, cheeks on fat. You know what I'm saying? That's what I be trying to that's how I be trying to look. So so anyway, all jokes aside, hey Tashina, I'm really proud of myself that I've been like kind of sticking to my schedule and stuff like that. And I started before New Year's. I started probably like top of December or whatnot. And so I still got some other things that I need to get done. However, though, I'm just getting stuff done here and there. And I was having a conversation with some friends earlier this morning, and we were just things in general I was talking about. They were asking me specific questions. And I know for a fact, I watch people all the time struggling with confidence and struggling with boundaries. Okay. Thank you, Thea. I see this all the time. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, let's talk about it. And I was like, a lot of people are people pleasers. A lot of people feel bad whenever they tell people no. A lot of people are uncomfortable. Sometimes people will evade people for saying no, right? This is you're just like cut people off instead of saying no, instead of putting out the boundary. And literally, I don't know what this is about. I notice this the most with millennial and Gen Z. We seem to brag about like our cutoff game being strong. You know what I'm saying? We like, it's a badge of honor. Like, yeah, I cut you off. My cutoff game so strong. Blah, 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 blah. But your boundaries aren't strong. Just cutting people off and not like really having the discussion and setting forth the expectation of what you need. Your needs are still not being met, and you're actually running away. You're a runner, you're a track star, and you're going to have a very challenging time trying to be successful. And those of you that want to build businesses, those of you that want to build like a platform or a community through social media, y'all know how I talk about soft skills and how soft skills actually have a lot more to do with your success than like your trained skill or academia. So this is one of those soft skills that's like super important. And y'all know I normally just shoot from the dome, but I wrote down notes today because there's some like, these are very, very important. These are things that actually help me change my life for the positive. If you're struggling with manifestation, honestly, sometimes you can't manifest. No, all the time. Not sometimes. I'm trying to sugarcoat it. No, all of the time. People that typically struggle with manifestation and manifesting things, when you go and look, y'all also struggle with boundaries. It hand in hand. You're going to have a very challenging time trying to manifest anything you're looking for: money, health, love, home, material things, situational changes, transfers of energy. You're going to have a very challenging time manifesting those if you are not good with your boundaries. Okay. You needed this today. Good. Okay. So a couple of things, I just want to get this out the way. First thing first, just because you set your boundary and somebody has a negative reaction does not mean that you set your boundaries improperly or incorrect. Honestly, 80 to 90% of the time, people are going to have a negative reaction when you set a boundary. They're going to look at you and say, oh, you getting brand new. Oh, you're changing. Oh, you're acting differently. Oh, what's gotten into you, right? Because they're so used to being able to control you, use you, manipulate you, leech off of you, right? And people can use you for a plethora of things. They can use you for emotional support. They can use you for companionship. They can use you for money. They can use you for access and network. They can use you for what you have going on in your brain. I have to watch that. People come at me all the time, well, oh, I just want to pick your brain, or I just want to talk to you about such and such and such. You know what I mean? Oh, if you could just go look at my page and tell me what I need. Oh, if you could just do this and this and that. No, I can't. I cannot. Blink, blink, blink. No, I cannot. Okay. Understand, like, this is a thing. And so people that really like care about you, they want to keep the relationship with you. People who they genuinely, they're not trying to make you feel bad. They're not trying to disrespect you. They're not trying to plow over your boundaries. They are going to listen. You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes they may not be able to do it right off the bat, depending on what they have going on with their communication and their maturity level. But ultimately, they're going to tell you, my goal is not to make you feel bad, or I'm not trying to hurt you. I don't want to disrespect you. That's not my intent, right? And so they will make the adjustments, right? And so sometimes what I see people do that struggle with boundaries, y'all will just cut somebody off, and you will never, hey, Lady Thompson, you will never explain to people what you need, right? What that boundary is, what makes you happy, what's going to put you in a good place, what expectation you have. Hey, baby, and that is not okay. Let me be very clear. So if you're in the category of I'm a cut off queen or I'm a cut off king, and I cut you off like this, you did not set a boundary because you cut somebody off. What happens is, and I've seen a couple of my close friends do this, and I've talked to them. I'm like, well, you didn't tell, especially in romantic, but y'all, this is everywhere. This is personal and professional. I see it the most though, like when people are dating, and some of my friends, a guy will do something or say something that they don't care for, and they just will stop talking to the guy. They'll stop answering his texts, stop answering his calls. They will not respond to his DMs. Just cut him off. And then they'll be like, my boundaries, what are you talking about? You don't have any boundaries. You never communicated an expectation or what the boundary was. You just cut the person off. You're a runner. You're non-confrontational. That's not the same as having a boundary, okay? Hey, Penthouse Mindset. Does that make sense? So that's first thing first. When we get to boundaries, cutting people off is not a boundary, okay? Cutting people off comes later, and we're going to talk about that. Now, people are disrespecting your boundaries after you've communicated, this is what it is, or the expectation, and then they continue to like their habitual line crossers. Yeah, that's when you cut somebody off, okay? But hey, but when you've never ever spoken to someone, this work, friends, co-workers, colleagues, siblings, sometimes your parents, if you've never vocalized this is blah 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 blah, and then you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna cut them off. You've never said anything, but you just cut the person off. Baby, you have not set boundaries. You're a runner. Very, very different thing. Okay. You said gold medal Olympic runner, right? Next. Okay, with the boundaries, for some of you guys, because you're not used to it, it is going to make you uncomfortable saying this is what I need, or these are my expectations, or this is how I would like to be, handled, right? Because somewhere along the line for decades, you have been programmed to operate in a way that if you deny your needs, if you deny your feelings, if you deny your desires, that you're going to get love in return, or you're going to get acceptance in return, or you're going to be liked in return. And you've ascertained in your brain somewhere that it's more important, right? Or it's more of a priority for you to be liked, accepted, and loved, is seen in a good light. And you feel that if you say what you want, that people aren't going to like and love you and accept you all the same. And reality is just the opposite, because what you do whenever you are a people pleaser, you become an enabler and you allow people to become entitled to you, your money, your time, your resources, your home, whatever it is, because you have essentially said, I'm a doormat. You can walk all over me. You can use me. You can abuse me. You can cheat on me. You can talk to me crazy. You can give me your extra workload. Right? I don't have to worry about it because I know such and such got it. You know what I'm saying? That's not really the position that we want to be in. And by default, people aren't really loving you or getting to know you. They're in love with the amenities of you. They want to keep the amenity of you instead of keeping you around. Does that make sense? Hey, distant lover. And I know what I'm saying may be stinging a little bit for some people. Trust me, I get it. I'd have been there before too. But whenever you really look and you start evaluating relationships and you're like, oh, is this person really my friend? Or are they just keeping me around because I'm valuable? Are they really my friend? Or they just keep me, close enough that whenever they need something, they can get it from me? Does this guy or girl really like me? Or do they just like what I do for them and what I offer them? You you said, ouch, hallelujah. I'm just telling the truth. So I'm just trying to help you get delivered from that. If you can keep that in your mind, if I'm out here, abandoning my needs, I'm betraying myself, I'm abandoning, right, what I really desire as well. This isn't a relationship where I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to foster for them and they're trying to foster for me. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be alone. I want to be liked. I want to be accepted. I want to be this. I want to be that. Well, then those people really don't have an opportunity to get to know you. They know what you can do for them. And it's a big difference between somebody really knowing you and knowing your heart and knowing your spirit, right? Than somebody knowing what you can do for them. This is how you get into these situations where people have known one another for years, and you'll be like, dang, I was her friend, but she wasn't my friend. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all have seen that happen before or ever been there? It's true with children, especially with adult children. I see a lot of parents like really, really struggle with putting boundaries up with their adult children. And it's sad. Like there's a lady and she wanted to come into one of my programs, right? She basically took the money, instead of putting it towards her business and putting it towards the program, used it to pay her daughters like rent and buy a car or something from her. And this woman is grown. Like she's like 27 years old. And I was like, was it going to hurt her to wait another 2 or 3 weeks for the apartment or for the car that she's getting on your dime? I was like, and she was like, well, no, I guess not. So, and I had to ask her, I was like, honestly, I was like, before you start a business, before you get in my program, I think you need to go see a therapist. And she was shocked. At first she was offended, but she came back a couple days later or whatever. And she was just like, she just wasn't expecting me to tell her that. But I'm like, literally, when I said, if you're going to be a boss, you have to make decisions that are going to generate income. And that decision that you made that doesn't generate income, you literally took the money you were supposed to use for your ads to be able to run to help you make more money. Now you don't have the money to run the ads. She had done well. The last pass of ads she did really well. That's how she actually got the money to pay for the rent and buy this car, right? This was thousands of dollars. Well, you should have taken that money, put it back into your business, ran some more ads, made some more money. She could have waited, right? And then you could have went and helped her. I personally probably wouldn't have bought her a car, but that's just me. I be telling people, I'm like, I don't care if I'm making $1 million a day. There's some things I'm not doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not, just because I've seen how that's panned out for other people in my age demographic compared to those of us that had to work and hustle and get our own cars and buy our own little furniture in our apartment and come up with our rent every month and all of those sorts of types of things. I'm squirreling. I'm not going to go down that path. That y'all do what you want to do. But I see a lot of parents not having appropriate boundaries with their kids. And then you're like, oh, I'm their mom, I'm their dad. That's what I'm supposed to do. Is that what you're supposed to do? Because now you created a situation where you have children that don't know how to use their resources, don't know how to properly think for themselves, don't know how to plan and put things out because they're so used to always running to mama and dad. And now they've turned into adults and they're sorry as adults. And anyway, so Rule number one with your boundary. Okay. Rule number one with your boundary. There are going to be people that are going to get upset. They're going to have a negative reaction. Oh, you think you all that? I am all that. Yep, I am. I'm all that. And I'm treating myself as if I'm all that. Okay. I am treated absolutely. Nifani said crazy part is they don't appreciate it. Exactly, because they become entitled. I absolutely 100% do think I'm all that. I'm treating myself as I'm all that. Okay. And if you don't want to treat me like I'm all that, that's fine. You're entitled to it. But that's not going to change what's going on over here. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Number two, if you just cut somebody off, but you never really expressed like what you needed or what you expected, you did not set a boundary. You just ran and you evaded confrontation. And you honestly probably could have ended a potentially amazing relationship, because that person may have been willing, right, to say, oh, I understand that, or thank you for sharing that with me, that this is what you need or how you operate. And they may have been more than willing to accommodate, right? Because they care about you, but you took that opportunity away from them because you had so much anxiety about expressing what you really need or what you really want. Okay. Third big thing that we need to understand about boundaries. Boundaries do not require for the other person to do anything. I'm going to say that again. Boundaries do not require for the other person to do anything. Boundaries are all about you. And people don't like to hear this, right? Because in order to have boundaries, that also means you have to have accountability. This is the part where people be checking out on me. They be like, what? In order to be strong in your boundaries, you have to be strong in accountability. And y'all know for me, I've told y'all time and time again. That's right. Tap that screen. Tap it. Yes, tap it. We only got 5,000 likes. Tap the screen. God dang it. We should be at 20, 25,000. Thank you so much. But dark and lovely, thank you. But literally, this is a real thing. Accountability. I've told y'all this before. Accountability is your superpower, right? And it's very challenging to have boundaries without accountability, because remember, boundaries are all about you. So if you're a person and you portray yourself on a regular basis, you don't uphold your boundaries, you don't communicate them to other people, you evade it because of the anxiety and the uncomfortableness that you have, you're the type of person you can't, apologize or say you're sorry. Guess what? You probably lack accountability. And because you lack accountability, you're struggling with following through for yourself. Let that set in. 3 things I've noticed in all of our years as being a biz builder, and assisting people with their goals and stuff like that. The first thing I noticed, people that struggle with communication, they normally think any disagreement is an argument. I'm telling you this right now, and I'm saying this with love, because I want you to win. I want you to be happy in life. I want you to get the things that you want. I want you to have a beautiful, wonderful life. I don't want you to go through life enduring it. I want you to be in an era where you're enjoying your life. Okay. If you are a person, if every time someone disagrees with you, they have a difference in opinion, they see stuff another way, they understand you, but they've come to a different conclusion. If every time that happens, you see it as someone wants to argue with you, I'm telling you this right now, you need to work on your communication. And I'm saying that with love. And I've seen this turn into like some crazy situations, like even just social media, like interactions. I've seen this turn into crazy situations in real life when people are, dealing with one another, whether it's familiar relationships, romantic relationships, business partnerships. I've seen friendships end because there are some people on the planet Earth, they feel like if you do not agree with them, then somehow that it is an argument or you're attacking them. If you are the person, you think every disagreement, it turns into an argument, I'm telling you right now that you are the problem. Okay. And I'm saying that with love because that is not the appropriate way to move through your life. And you're going to struggle with boundaries. You're going to struggle being able to really develop strong relationships with their people that really want to be there for you, because people are going to feel, they're going to start feeling suppressed when they're around you after long periods of time. Right. And this is where you'll see, exactly, this is where you'll see sometimes like, you'd be like, oh, we used to have such a good relationship, but they don't really call or text anymore. Or you'll see when kids get older, they like start disconnecting from their parents because it's like too much, right? It's because it's like, I can't really be me. I can't really have an opinion. I can't really have a conversation. I can't really tell you how I feel because you don't like it, right? So, or because you don't feel like that's the way it should be. Now it's turned into this whole entire thing. You said yes. On Instagram, they start name calling you in the comments if you don't agree with them. Absolutely, Nifani. I watch people cuss each other out on TikTok because somebody else don't agree with each other. I've seen people have a disagreement and then all of a sudden someone's doxing someone, someone's information and stuff like that, and doxing their kids' school and all of this because they just did not agree, right? So literally, this is, if you are in your regular life, and I'm telling you this, if you are the person and you're like feeling like you're always arguing or people are always attacking you, I am asking you with love, you know what I mean? And for the sake of you being in a spot in your life where you can enjoy it and you getting to a point where you're really having a happy life, you're going to have to look inward, and you may need to go get some communication books, some communication classes. Okay. You may need to go, get in therapy. You know what I'm saying? You may need to have a family session. I'm just keeping it a buck to figure out why, you know what I mean, you're struggling with, why you're struggling with communication. And most people think communication is them orating. A lot of communication is you listening. Okay. It's your body language. Is being able to decode the messages that people are sending to you. It's comprehension. That has a lot to do with communication. So if someone has a difference of opinion and it always like escalates and turns into all this stuff, you're probably not as strong as a communicator as you think you are. Okay. So that's one thing I noticed. People that think every disagreement is an argument normally are terrible at communication. Okay. Hey, Chicago John. Second thing, thank you for my 2025 glasses. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Second thing, people who lack accountability. Listen, because I already told you, you're not going to be able to manifest anything. You're not going to be able to set appropriate boundaries if you don't have accountability. But something else about people who lack accountability, they take everything as an attack. Happy New Year to you too, John. Have y'all ever talked to somebody? Hey, B. Marquita, have you ever talked to somebody and like they're always talking about someone's attacking them or somebody's coming for them or someone's shading them or someone's disrespecting them like all the time? I'm like, yo, like everybody's not coming for you. Put the down, okay? Like chill. Like get off of high alert. Everyone's not coming for you. But the reason they feel this way is because they literally lack the tools to be able to look internally and see what they said or what they did or how they behaved that caused a specific, like interaction or series of actions to take place, right? They have a really, really hard time listening to other people. You said you used to be that way, horribly defensive. Yes, they're very, very, very defensive about everything. And it's like, you're like, chill out. You know what I mean? And people can say something with a genuine concern. People can say something that's a genuine observation. And somehow, you're taking it like a personal attack all the time. Okay. People that lack accountability, they always are going to tell you that someone's coming for them. I just mind my business. I don't bother anybody. It's always, if you're out here getting into a new fight, a new argument, a new battle every 3 to 5 business days, you struggle with accountability. This is what's going on with a lot of like messy talk. Because when I first got out, I was just trying to meet other Black creators. I didn't even know messy talk was a thing until, you find out quickly what's going on over there. But a lot of the disagreements and the arguments and the back and forth and the wars they're having with each other, it literally boils down to like nobody's willing to take accountability. King Flacco, you laughing because you know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. I see it all the time. Like literally, if somebody would just be like, you know what, I can see that. Or you know what? Oh yes, it's messy, and people think over here they think it's just the black creators. No, baby. I be in the Mexican messy talk. Why I don't say nothing. I just be in there listening to their stuff, baby. Have me a good old funky time. It's a white messy talk. It's an Asian messy talk, baby. They be getting with it. Okay, there's a set of people on the planet Earth. They wake up every day to war. They wake up every day to bring someone else down. They wake up every day to pee in your Cheerios. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are groups of human beings, and I always hate it when I hear black people. They're like other races don't do that. Yes, they do. I'm like, you're just letting me know that you don't talk to or socialize or interact with other groups of people. Okay, because they do. Okay, they do. They absolutely 100% do. All right. This is just a personality trait. It's not attributed to a race. Okay. It just is. There's a set of people. They live in chaos and pandemonium, but part of the reason they live in chaos and pandemonium because of those two things that I already mentioned, right? The communication and the lack of accountability. Okay. Let's see. You said they can have way more than you two. Oh yeah. It's not a socioeconomic thing. It's just it's a thing. It's a human being people thing. Okay. Third thing, people with little to no self-awareness. Okay. They're going to see you setting your boundaries as some form of like a betrayal to them. So that's like earlier when I was talking about when you start setting boundaries, people are going to be like, oh, you acting different. Oh, you think you're all that. Oh, you think you the bomb? Who you think you are? Hey, Marie, yeah, I am all that. As a matter of fact, sure am. Sure am, and this is what this package comes in. And if you don't want to sign up, okay, to get this full package and accommodate it appropriately, I understand that you're entitled to that. We need to go our separate ways, just like this. Boop, separated, like straight up and down. That is how it is. That's all it is. And y'all have seen some like larger creators when I first got on TikTok that would try and come at me and stuff. And it was just like that. Junk was shut down just like that. Why? Because I was very direct. I talked to them. I did not talk about them. Right? I let them know that this is what it is and this is what it ain't. This is how I'm going to behave and handle myself. And you can choose to do with that whatever you want to. Right? I'd have ran into it. The little dudes with the dirty fingernails, those little weirdos. What's her name? Barb. She didn't know how. She was shook. She was not expecting me to come directly into her live stream and then make a video at her. What's the little crazy chick that looked like Fiona from Shrek? The wannabe, the little fake rich lady running around on here. Like it's quite a few of them. Okay. And I was just shoot. What's the ain't somebody? She was on here like trying to go at me. Baby, that fizzled out real fast. Why? Because excuse me, because one, I am a good communicator and I clearly, and I keep working on my communication skills, right? I'm a person who has no problem taking accountability, but I'm also very, very direct and very specific in communicating my boundaries. And also, I don't play no games. I follow through. So this again goes back to people that struggle with setting their boundaries. If you do not have accountability, you're not going to be able to set your boundaries because you're going to lack the follow through portion. Because remember, I told y'all boundaries have everything to do with you. A boundary is me, has nothing to do with the other person. Okay. Boundaries have nothing at all to do with the other people. It's all about you when it comes to boundaries. Okay. Next. Okay. When we get to boundaries and accountability, if you are struggling with accountability and setting boundaries, I'm telling you this, you're not going to be able to manifest. Everybody's like, oh, I'm making my vision boards and I'm doing my journals and I'm doing my prompts because today is 1/11. It's a great day to manifest. But how are you going to manifest something if you remember I told y'all the way you get on the frequency of what you want is through behavior. How are you going to get in the proper behavior to manifest the things that you want? Literally, if you are a person who struggles with boundaries and you're not following up, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Okay. So next thing next. Okay. Well, next thing next. The first thing first to setting an appropriate boundary, you need to get a pen and a pad and you need to write down what you want for yourself and for your life. When I'm working with my clients in in-person workshops, we focus on PIs. Okay. The P is for physical. The I is for your intellectual, or you can say informational. um, and also, and we do double pies, PIIES. So you have your intellectual information. Your second I is, of course, is going to be your income. E is going to be your emotional, and S is going to be your spiritual. And so you're looking at those categories, right? So physically, what do you want for yourself? Like when we get into like your health, skin, hair, nails, body, and also physical, like what environment do you physically want to wake up in? That's a real important thing. Okay. What the last thing you see at night before you close your eyes, the first thing you see in the morning before you wake up has a huge impact on how your day is going to go, your intentions, and what type of opportunity you're able to attract to yourself. So you need to be honest about that, right? Then whenever we get into the intellectual or we get into the informational, things that you know you need to work on, that you need to go and like seek more information on or get more training or get a certification, or you just need to be in the flow or the environment with those people so you can learn those things. That's a real thing. You need to write that down so you know what you need to work on with that, right? When we get to income, I think everybody knows, right? How much money do you need to make, getting out of debt, being able to invest, right? Figuring out what your revenue and your profits need to look like there, right? What your sales quotas are, your numbers, whatever that looks like for you economically, okay? Then we get into the emotions. Are like, honestly, and you got to be honest with yourself. Are you happy every day? Because happiness is a decision based on us. A lot of times I see people looking for like their friends to make them happy, or their family to make them happy, or their pet to make them happy, or their romantic partner to make them happy, right? If you're chasing external validation, especially through romantic partnerships, it's a good chance you're going to end up being a hoe. Excuse my language. I was very afraid. When I talk to a lot of people who are hoes, it's literally they're chasing external validation or external feeling like consistently. For real, Laura, you laughing. I'm so serious though. When you talk to a lot of them, that's how they end up in that position. It's always about external validation to make them feel some type of way because emotionally they haven't tapped into what it is that they need to be fulfilled. Hey Gina, thank you for the heart me. This is a very real thing, right? And so you'll see people like burning through relationships too, because as soon as that friendship or that romantic partnership is not giving them that high that they were getting before, boom, they're out of there. They're gone, right? Because they have not realized that it's internal is what the issue is that's going on right now. Thank you for my 2025 glasses, Gina Maxine. I'm just telling y'all, if y'all ever get the opportunity, talk to someone who's struggling in that area with sexual immorality and right, like picking up all these bodies and spiritual blockages that they don't realize that they're adding onto themselves. That when you really get down to it and you really start talking to them, a lot of it has to do with they like being desired. They like, the compliments, kind of like that phase that they're getting. They like, you know what I mean? They like feeling wanted. They like the belonging. They like that someone is excited to be around them, talk to them, see them. This is a consistent thing that they're chasing. And then once that is gone or whatever, it's on to the next. Okay. So literally you being able to figure out emotionally, like, are you really happy with yourself? Do you really have peace? Are you really in a state of joy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, like how do you really, you said, I must admit that makes sense. Hey, baby, I'm telling you, I've been studying this stuff for a long time. Okay. But literally, like when you wake up every day, are you on a terror? Do you wake up fussing and cussing people out? Are you like Oscar the Grouch? You know what I'm saying? Are you the type of person, if one thing goes the wrong way, you let it ruin your whole day or your whole night? You know, I'll be honest, I can't stand people like that. Baby, if I see that you're that type of person, you probably gonna get 1-2 pep talks out of Ashley N, and she's gone. Pew, Speedy Gonzalez. I can't deal with you. Absolutely not. Right? Because all of us have little trials and tribulations or things that don't go the way that we think they're supposed to go or the way that we want them to go. But why would I keep focusing on that and let that ruin my whole day? Now I had one bad day. Now it's turned into 2 bad days. Now it's turned into a bad week. Now my bad week turned into a bad month. Life still goes on, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, this happened. I really wasn't excited about that, but whatever. Let me not focus my energy into it and get back to this other thing. And that's really a valuable skill to have. Okay. So when you're going through your pause, like when we get into emotions, it is literally like, how do you feel every day? And you got to be honest with yourself. If you feel hopeless, do you feel anxiety? Do you feel sad? Do you feel aggression? Are you just angry? Like, figure that out. What do I feel like versus what do I want to feel like? Okay. And then finally, when we get to the S on the spiritual, how is your relationship with your creator? I believe in God. Okay. I serve the big God. Okay. My God is bigger than everybody's God's. I don't care how you feel about it. All right. The big God, the right, the Alpha and Omega, creator of the universe, everything therein. And if you have a different spiritual belief, you know, with your creator, you believe in the universe or whatever, you, baby, that's good for you. Okay. So when we're looking at spirituality, are you really though in tune? Are you able to hear properly? Are you making the right decisions for yourself? Are you doing things and you're getting favorable results and outcomes, right? Are you able to tap into a source for healing, a source for miracles? Because whenever you manifest, the God that I serve is already in the spiritual. Once I have the idea and I can visualize it, it's there. Now my goal is just to bring it down here into this dimension that I'm in so I can walk into it. I won't bore y'all. Y'all know I'll be teaching for days when we get into spiritual manifestation, right? But that's a very real thing for me. Okay, that's a very real thing for me. So when you're doing your pods, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's interesting to me. I was in a room this morning. I was in there with Stays, and they were talking about kind of like relationships and how can we get more people excited about being married and stuff like that, right? And I was just like, yeah, I was like, we gotta debunk or counter a lot of these crazy panels and narratives we hear, because in no way would I want to get married with the stuff that I hear on these panels and the conversations. And I was like, it's a disconnect, because there are people that want a spiritual, they want a faith-based, a lot of them want a Christian-based marriage, but they're not living Christian lives or seeking Christian partners. I see this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like when those men are like, you need to submit. All I got to do is make money and come home. What? Actually, that's not what the word says. It says that your wife is the grace of life. It says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and he finds favor with the Lord, because God knows that women, we're typically more connected, right? On the spiritual side, we typically listen a little bit better. It says that a man has a duty to live with his wife in peace. And it also says, for women that don't know, your husband's supposed to love him like he loves his own body. Your husband's supposed to love him the way he loves himself. That's how that's supposed to work. And you as a woman, you're supposed to adore and respect, and you submit to that man as he submits to God, but they leave out that part. That's how that works. Okay. That's how that works, right? But so that's where we have like a lot of confusion and a lot of dissension and all of this kind of stuff. Okay, the Bible doesn't say that you just submit to every man. That's actually dangerous. Okay, you'll end up out of here as a woman running around doing that, right? Anyway, let me stay focused. So on the spiritual side, though, are you reading? Okay, on the spiritual side, are you reading like whatever the rules are for you? Okay, are you reading your Quran? Are you reading your Torah? Are you reading your Bible? Okay, are you doing historical investigations? Are you inside of studies, right? Are you trying to sharpen, your ear so you can hear from your creator? That's a real thing. right? A lot of is if y'all ever get some time, y'all should go and look up the God Center in human beings. It's a very real thing, and they have documented it. The FBI, the CIA, and the scientists and medical doctors have documented it, and they cannot explain it. But for those of us that believe in God, there's a different place that's active in our brain that other humans don't have active in their brains, and we have higher recoveries from physical ailments and diseases. We typically live longer, and when they do those tests on happiness, we're typically happier than other human beings. But there's a God center that's activated in us, and it helps our cells and stuff regenerate at a faster and higher rate too. It's really, really cool. Really is really cool. So anyway, and they don't have any explanation of it. And if you guys get bored, go look up the CIA studies on prayer. They spent about $20 million and came to the conclusion that prayer is real and prayer does work, right? But I didn't need them to spend $20 million. I already know for myself. Okay. So anyway, long story long, you're going to figure out the first part of your boundaries. What do I really want for my life? Not what someone else told me that I want. Hey, Kathy, not what somebody else told me I'm supposed to have. Because there's a lot of y'all running around right now and you're struggling with your boundaries because you're living within the expectations or the limitations that someone else put on you. Right? Like literally you went to school and you got a specific degree because your parents or your family wanted you to get that degree. You're dating a guy or a gal, not because you really like that guy or that gal, because, the person that you really like, you're not man enough or woman enough to be with them because your friends are going to clown you or your family's going to clown you for being with that person. Blink, blink, blink. I'm not going to spend a lot of time getting into it, but I see it all the time. I see it all the time. People not really being with who they really want to be with because they ain't got the nads to stand on it because they homeboys or they homegirls gonna clown them. I see it all the time. People not really wearing what they want to wear, everything down to a nail color because someone's gonna judge me or they're gonna say this about me. This is a regular thing. So what do you really want for yourself? What do you really want for your life? What do you really want for your relationships? What do you really want for your income, for your emotions, for your physical body, right? What do you, not what everybody else want, not what people say it should be. What do you really want? Because if we know what we want, then we're going to be able to set the appropriate boundaries. Okay. And remember, hey, Rose Goddess Queens, boundaries go back to it's what you do. Boundaries have nothing to do with other people. Okay. The only time other people come in is if they're going to respect your boundaries or not. That's it. So when you're telling other people that they need to do things or they need to change things or they need to stop something or they need to start something because you're like, my boundaries. Well, no. Boundaries are your actions. So I give you guys, this is a very, very simple example, but let's say you're a parent and you have a kid and that child is a little mischievous, okay? And that child really won't listen to you. Let's say you keep telling the child to turn the TV off. It's bedtime. But this child is not not listening. They still got the TV on. They're running around. They're giggling and TV. I'm doing what I feel like doing. Okay. You keep telling the child to turn the TV off. And then you're like, they don't respect me as a parent. Well, that's because you didn't set a boundary, right? You made a request. You may have stated a preference, but that's not really a boundary. Now, on the other side, if I say you need to have that TV off within the next 60 seconds, and right within the next 60 seconds, if the TV is not off in the next 60 seconds, I am going to come and take your remote and your power cord from your television and you won't have a TV anymore. See that? That's a boundary. A very, very firm. I am going to come and take your remote. I am going to take the power cord. So now you're not going to have a TV until you're not going to be able to view TV until it is. Okay. Boom. Okay. Boom. Just like that. And guess what? You have to follow through. You can't just say it and not do it. You have to follow through with it. Okay. Another example, let's say I'm having a conversation with someone and they start yelling at me and they start cussing at me. What do most of people say? Stop yelling at me. Stop cussing at me. Don't yell at me. Please don't yell at me. Please don't cuss at me. Blah, 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 blah. That's not a boundary. That's a request. And then they may be like, who are you to tell me what to do? Who are you to tell me, to tone police me? Who are you, right? Instead, being able to say, I'm really uncomfortable right now with the tone that you're taking with me, or I'm really uncomfortable with you yelling at me. It's making me feel disrespected, and it's actually making me feel a little angry. If you continue to yell at me, we're going to have to end this conversation, or we're going to have to cut this date short, or I'm going to leave, whatever it's going to be. You said walk away. You can't walk away yet because you didn't put your boundary. Now, if you tell them that, and they keep yelling at you, they keep cussing at you or whatever, now you walk away. You see what I'm saying? Because if you just walk away and you don't tell that person why you walked away or what your boundary is, well, you just ran. You didn't really set a boundary. You understand what I'm saying? It's a difference. You say, hey, I'm not feeling this. If this continues, I'm going to remove myself from this situation. That's what a boundary really is. And guess what? A lot of times, people will check themselves. A lot of people, they may not even have realized, they may have not even been aware that they were yelling. And I'm telling you this from real life experience. And they will immediately bring that volume down. And I'm talking about immediately because a lot of times people that care about you, their intent is not to hurt you. Their intent is not to disrespect you. Trisha Mortgage Tips, thank you for my 2025 glasses. You said you created a new normal by just merely walking away. Right. And now they're going to be like, oh, you're immature. You're this, you're that, blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? But if you say, don't raise your voice at me, you're making a request and you're telling them what to do. But if you say, when you raise your voice at me, it makes me angry. It makes me uncomfortable, or it puts me on edge. It makes me anxious. And I want to hear you out. But I can't hear you if you're yelling at me. If you keep yelling at me, I'm going to have to remove myself from this situation. Or I have to end this date. Or I'm going, hey, we'll have to hang it up. We'll pick it up later. You said we can end the conversation if you don't lower your voice. No, that's not a boundary. You're still making a request. You're putting a request on them. You're saying we can end the conversation if you don't lower the voice. You see what I'm saying? You're requiring them to do something. Boundaries don't require the other people to do anything. The only thing is they can respect it or they cannot respect it. That's it. We can end the conversation if you don't lower your voice. You're still putting it on them. That's not a boundary. When you say, if you continue to yell at me, you continue to scream at me, I'm not going to continue to participate in the conversation. I'll end this call, or we can cut dinner short, or I'm going to go ahead and go home. That's a boundary, because now the onus is on you. If they keep doing it, you have the responsibility to get up and leave, or to hang up that phone call. They now have the choice. Are they going to keep yelling and cutting up, or are they going to lower that volume? You see what I'm saying? You said just end it. No, that's not. Just ending it is not a boundary. and you're gonna end up back in the same situation. Just ending it, you're gonna end up back in the same situation. You communicate to the people, this is what I need, and this is why. And if they don't want to hear it, now you end it. People that love you will never intentionally hurt you. More than once is intentional. Oh, that's a lie. That's a complete lie. That's not true at all. Do you know how many people lack self-awareness? Do you know how many people, depending on how they've been programmed or they've been conditioned or what's been modeled in front of them, will do that. And then different things trigger different people. So like, for example, in my family, because we're like a really big family, literally we can flat out we can go back and forth with each other, okay, and literally be like, oh, okay, what you want to eat for dinner, not think anything about it. If you don't come from a family dynamic like that, you're looking at us like, what is happening? This is insane. I've never seen anything like this. But for us, that's normal. We said what we said, we got our stuff out, we're ready to move on, right? So I had a challenging time. Okay, I had a very challenging time with my partner, because if I say it and say I'm over it, I'm done with it, I'm done with it. He'll say he done with it, but really ain't done with it, right? So there was a whole spot of contention that we had to learn how to work through. Because if you tell me you're over it and you're done with it, you better be over and done with it. Because if you say that, and when I tell you I'm done, I literally, ask anybody that really knows me, they will tell you I will never bring it up again. I'm talking about people that know me 20, 30 years. If we have a little conflict or a disagreement or something, once we get through it and we say, this is what we agree to do, this is how we're going to move forward, that is literally what we agree to do and move forward. And I don't bring it back up. I don't even joke about it. I don't even be like, remember when? I don't even do that. If I'm done, I'm done. That's that. But some human beings don't have the ability to do that. Some human beings, right, because they don't know how to express their boundaries and they struggle with communication, and they don't know how to really say, this is what I need, or this is what it is, or this is what it's not. Or they don't know how to say, my feelings are still hurt. I'm not done with it yet. I need some more time. If someone so there are people that will hurt you, not intentionally, and they will do it more than once just because they just don't know. they just don't know. That's a very real thing. So and then a lot of people lack self-awareness. Like I said, me communicating to someone, hey, when you yell at me, it makes me feel this way and that way. If you continue to yell at me, I'm gonna have to leave, or we're gonna have to end this conversation. Right? If you continue to yell at me, I'm going to leave. I'm going to end this conversation. That is my boundary. And sometimes people, they won't apologize. They'll just bring down the volume. Sometimes people will say, I didn't know I was yelling. I didn't mean to yell at you. You know what I'm saying? I want to get resolved too. Okay, great. I want to get resolved as well. I want to hear you. I want to understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean? And I want you to be happy. If you can tell me what I did to hurt you, tell me what I did, you know what I mean, to cause you to feel this way, I am more than happy to listen to it and make every effort to not do that anymore, because you mean a lot to me. I don't want to hurt you. You see what I'm saying? But people, like, when you're out here telling other people what they need to do, now you're not taking the onus on yourself. And then people will get mad and say somebody disrespected them. Well, they didn't really disrespect you, because you didn't tell them what the level of respect was. You didn't tell them what you were expecting of them. You didn't tell them how to handle you, but you'll be like, oh, they mishandled me. Did they really mishandle you? Or did you not communicate to them and give them an opportunity to adjust? So this whole I'ma just cut you off because millennials and Gen Z, and I'm a millennial, we love doing that stuff and we wear it like a badge of honor, but it's really not. It's really dysfunctional communication. And now once someone disrespects you in their habitual line crosser, now you can stop talking to them. Now you can remove yourself. I put y'all in my business. I give y'all a real life example. I was dating this guy. This was years ago. This was before I met Mr. C. Okay. I was dating this guy. And you said this sounds like a cop out. They should know what respect is. Oh, you're ridiculous. you're ridiculous. I'm telling they don't. Everybody, I don't know what is wrong with y'all that y'all refuse to acknowledge that different people grow up in different environments. What's okay for some people and what they will accept is not okay for others. Prime example. There are like two ladies. I was in their panel, right? And they were saying if a man cheats on the woman should stay because God forgives us every day and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, absolutely not. And the Bible says that adultery is explicitly listed as a ground for divorce. Throughout time, for thousands of years, before women could even have bank accounts, own a home on their own, have businesses, cheating was always a way out because God understands how much that hurts the faithful partner. Okay. He understands that is a tear in what he put together. Right. Exactly. And I'm not God. Okay. I'm Ashley Ann. Baby, go to Lord. Go to the Lord for that. Okay. You want to be out here cheating? Well, this is the consequences for your action, right? Now, I say this to say to you, those two ladies felt like they could get past adultery. You understand what I'm saying? For me, because of the way that I have been raised, because of the way I've been socialized, because the models of happy, faithful, loyal, non-abusive marriages I've seen in front of me my whole entire life, that's not acceptable for me. But and it doesn't mean that you see what I'm saying. So for those two women, they can be with a man and go through a few affairs and stay with them. For me, I can't. But we were raised differently. There are also people like literally they box like physically. Poop 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 poop. I know people, they will get to throwing hands with each other and then still expect you to remain in a friendship or relationship with them because that's normal for them. There are people, if you raise your voice a little bit, they feel like you disrespected them. Tom, okay, me and Mr. C are very, 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 very different with Tom. If you tell me it's a party at a house and it starts at 7, I'm not coming at 7 because it's a party at a house. We're gonna be there all night. You tell me 7 o'clock and it's a venue, I'm gonna be on time because I know it's a venue and you rented a venue for a specific amount of hours. And in my family, all of us operate like that. Oh, y'all come by the house, we're gonna start grilling at 7. My folks not showing up to 8:30. His family, if we say we start grilling at 7, they pulling up at 6:55. You see what I'm saying? And so he would see us pulling up at 8 o'clock as being disrespectful. And I wouldn't be thinking anything about it because I'm like, it's a house party. We here, we kicking it all night. I'm just keeping it a buck. So when people say things like people should know what respect is, no, respect is different to every person respect and disrespect is different to all people on the planet Earth. So you therefore having friendships or romantic partnerships or mutual relationships or business relationships, and you having the inability to communicate what you expect or what a boundary is for you, and you just expect someone to know it. People are not mind readers, and every person on the planet Earth has been raised differently, and they have very different models of what's okay and what's not okay. It is not the same. I'm the type of person, if you shut down and you don't speak to me and you don't say anything, that's a form of cruelty to me. Like the silence treatment, I don't like that. But if you tell me like, hey, I'm not ready to talk about it right now, I need a couple of days or I need a few hours, I will respect that. I'm not going to push you to talk about it right then because you told me I'm wired so that I need a few hours or I need a few days. Exactly. We're all raised very, very differently because, again, I came from a family. The word keep going. You don't go sit in a room and pout. Come on, let's hash it out right now. Okay, fix your attitude, fix your face, and let's keep going. So this whole thing of, oh, people shouldn't have to be told. No, that's a really good way to ruin a lot of really good relationships. That's a really good way to cut yourself off from people that will probably be very valuable to your life. That's a very good way to isolate yourself. And that's a very good way to have failed relationships over and over and over again because you're evading communicating with someone what it is that you need and what your requirements are. And it's really ridiculous to expect another human being to be a mind reader and just know how you are and just know what you need. Because again, what is considered respect and disrespect for us is very, very different across the board. Very, very different across the board. So it's not a cop-out. This is why you have to get to a point where you're comfortable communicating your thoughts, your feelings, and your needs, and doing it in a way where the onus is on you and not on the other person. So I'm going to give y'all this. It's a silly example, but it's a true example. So I was dating a guy. Of course, this was years ago. And he put his hands in my face. I don't like it when people touch my face. Okay? Baby, people play about a lot of stuff. I don't play like that. And I don't play fight with men either. Don't be bopping me in the head with no pillow or throwing something at me because I'm not going to bop you or throw anything at you. Like we can do the dozens on each other. You know what I'm saying? We can do some other little cute stuff. That violent stuff or like play fight. I don't do it. Do not, baby, find somebody else, because I'm not doing that with you. I don't like that. Okay. No. Okay. And again, now guess what? There's some other people on the planet Earth. They are fine with play fighting. They'll pillow fight with you all day. They'll play wrestle with you all day. Okay. There's a lot of women, you can put your hands all in their face and they're not going to care. Not me. Ashley Ann is pretty. Do y'all see my skin? I don't have on a stitch of makeup right now. Stop playing with me. And I'm in the media. Okay. This is how I look, and my voice literally are my money makers. I don't play about that. As anybody really knows me, when I don't play about my skincare, baby, I got so many lotions and potions and scrubs and whatever for this and that. I don't play. I only drink water. I eat spinach and broccoli. I eat 5 servings of green leafy vegetables a day. That's why my skin looks so good and my nails look so good, on top of the things that I'm doing to take care of my skin. Okay. So I told him, I was like, hey, I was like, please don't put your hands in my face. He said, why? I don't have to give you a why. That's my request. Please don't put your hands in my face. It makes me uncomfortable. Oh, if we dating, if you're going to be my girlfriend, I should be able to put my hands wherever I want to put my hands on you. First of all, sir, a girlfriend, I'm not your girlfriend. That's number one. But a girlfriend and wife are 2 different things. And absolutely not. If I am your girl and I'm saying this makes me uncomfortable, why would you want to force me to do something that I'm uncomfortable with? So I'm already seeing a lot about your mindset. You see what I'm saying? But I digress. I asked him again. I said, please don't put your hands in my face. He did it again. He did all this across my face. Okay. Please don't do that again. If you put your hands in my face again, we will not go on any more dates. He did it again. Looked me dead in my eye. I picked up my phone. I called my daddy. I said, Daddy, I'm in such and such and such and such. Can you come and get me, please? Right there in front of him. Daddy, can you come and get me? This is where I am. My dad said, no problem, baby. I'll be there in about 20 minutes. Thank you. You really just called your daddy, blah, 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 blah. I stopped talking to him. Sir, you can stop talking to me. We're not dating anymore. Do not call me. Do not text me. Forget you ever knew me. Do not comment on anything on social media. We don't see each other anymore. That's it. He thought it was a game. He waited a day or 2 later, tried to call me back. I'm not answering the phone. Then after a few weeks, he started going through other people, like some of my friends and stuff that he had known, hitting up also, can you call Ashley? Can you talk to her? They were like, Ashley, such and such, call your girl. We was out and such and such. He kept putting his hands in my face. I asked him not to do it. He kept doing it. I'm not talking to that fool no more. We ain't going on that. No, do not. You ain't got to contact me never. You ain't got to talk to him no more. You could tell him, hey, Ashley don't fool with you no more. I don't fool with you no more either. Bye. Literally, that's it. You see what I'm saying? Now, I told him, please, when you're putting your hands in my face, it makes me uncomfortable. I said it makes me uncomfortable. If you continue to do this, we're not going to be in relationship anymore. We will no longer date. We won't talk. We won't be friends. Nothing. You see what I'm saying? That was my boundary, and I meant it, and I stuck to it. He tried to circle back around about 5-6 months after that. No is no. So like when you say he didn't respect me, he didn't, but he learned. He learned with that. He was not used to, and he even told me sit like this long message and stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. This is not just him. There are several men in my life that didn't know about me. I'm not like other women. A lot of women, we mess ourselves up with men when we're dating them or in relationships because we say one thing and do another. If I tell you I'm not okay with that, I'm not okay with that. 1, I'm not afraid to be alone. Number 2, I'm a very pretty girl. There's always a man that's looking and lurking to be with me. Always. I go to the mailbox, a man trying to holler. I go to the grocery store, a man trying to holler. I go to a restaurant, a man trying to holler. I go to a conference, a man trying to holler. I go to pay a bill, a man trying to holler. I go to pick up a new dress in the mall, a man trying to holler. There's always a man trying to get with me. So whether I want to be alone or I want to be with somebody, that's not a fear of mine. And a lot of women will stay and take a bunch of stuff because one, they're afraid to be alone, or number two, they don't think that they're going to be able to meet anybody else. But you got to have your boundaries. Like, it is what it is. I don't let men cuss at me either. There's a couple of guys on this app, and it was funny to me because women would come. I don't know if they were coming in here trying to be funny, or if they genuinely were like genuinely asking. And they're like, "Oh, how come you're never on such and such's platform anymore?" You heard what he said to me that night. You heard how he talked to me crazy. I don't let people play. Y'all out here for play. This is me in real life. I don't deal with men. A man that will cuss me out, and you think I'll be going back over there, sitting in his graces, smiling in his face, helping him build his platform, assisting him in any way? You have lost your MF in mind. That may be what you do, but that's not what I do. And if you're fine with it, cool for you, but I'm not. You see what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, again, your boundaries have to do with you. They have nothing to do with the other person. If he would have respected what I asked, my boundary of like, hey, please don't put your hands in my face. Right? I was like, it makes me uncomfortable when people put their hands in my face. If you keep putting your hands in my face, we're not going to communicate anymore. I'm out. It's that's it. There's nothing else. Okay. Now, sometimes you can't just be out or remove yourself because it could be like a parent, you know what I mean? Or something like that. And so like, that's a little bit different, but you can still establish your boundaries with your parents. You can say, I'm uncomfortable with that, or I don't have time to do that today, but I'm willing to do it for you on Thursday. No, I need it done now. Well, if you need it done now, you're going to have to figure out how to do it yourself. I can't do it until Thursday. But if you can wait until Thursday, I'm happy to do it. You see what I'm saying? Like, just like that. You can cut off a conversation with your parents. Okay, mom. Okay, dad. I'm feeling overwhelmed right now with where the conversation is going. So if I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, so I'm just not gonna say anything else. you can do it. You can do it. You can do it with the parent. You can absolutely do it. And so again, your boundaries are you, okay? Where a lot of people mess up with boundaries is they're still having an expectation for the other person to do something. They don't remember that other person has a choice. They can or they cannot. That's up to them. Okay? That is up to them. My mama, and y'all know I love my mama. I love her down real bad. My sister and I, we would just be like, sometimes when we had to talk to her because she would like overtalk us, right? She would like cut us off. We couldn't get a word in. It was like, we would just be like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? And finally we told her, we was like, we love you. You know, there are other things in our life we would like to share with you, but we don't, because we're having a challenging time communicating with you, because when we try and express things, you cut us off, you know, you talk down at us, da 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 da. You know what my mama said? Because trust me, and she wasn't trying to hear it at first, but she thought about it, and she was like, I just get so excited about what I want to say, or the thing, you know, I do talk over you, and I want you to be able to say. And to this day, if she's doing it, I'd be like, Mama, I'd be like, can I please finish my thought? And my mama will actually be quiet, and she'll let me finish my thought, and then we'll continue on with the conversation. Okay. You say you doing this with your mom and she get mad when you say, okay, like, okay, mom, right. So literally, you said, yes, I respectfully do that to my dad from time to time, right? You don't have to be like a butthole when you're setting boundaries. You don't have to be a jerk when you're setting boundaries, and you're not doing anything to anyone by you saying like, this is what, you know, I need like at this time. And remember, they have the option to give it to you or not. And then if they don't, now you have to follow up with your part of the deal. That's how boundaries work. That's how they work. But a lot of y'all, you're wanting the other person to do something, right? It's not what they do. It's not about the other people. It's about you. You are the person who will betray yourself, right? It's not them. You said, OMG, I do that with my daughter. She'll remind me, and then I'll listen. I think a lot of parents do that to their kids just because there's so many years that we're on the planet Earth that y'all literally do have to direct us and tell us everything. You know what I'm saying? Hey, K Renee, for a lot of, when you're parenting, y'all literally have to tell us everything. Y'all have to teach us how to shower, how to brush our teeth, how to make our bed, how to make new friends, how to deal, with like sticky emotional situations, how to deal with anxiety, how to learn life lessons, how to develop our discernment, how to pray. Like, I mean, you're teaching your kids like everything. So I think, it's just kind of starts almost kind of like a habit, maybe for the parent. And then as the kids get older, then it's hard for the parents to kind of be like, oh, I need to reel that back in. You know what I'm saying? I need to reel it in a little bit. So because I knew my mama was never doing it to us, like, to be harmful or disrespectful or anything like that. I just think that that's like just kind of like a natural transition that parents and kids have to go through. People hate I no longer crash out and now become and control the conversation in a positive way. What you mean they hate that you don't crash out? They should be excited that you don't crash out. That's growth. That's growth. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. Like that's growth. So basically, y'all are saying they don't like that you're not giving them a show that they can't be entertained anymore. Now see, now I may have to be looking at them with a side eye, like, were you really my friend or were you an op? Because your friends normally congratulate you when you've calmed down. You know what I'm saying? Because, baby, I used to be something else. Okay, in my 20s, baby, I wasn't no joke. I used to be out here cutting up, acting a whole fool. You understand me? And I thank the Lord that I'm delivered from that and I'm calmer now. And literally people that are close to me, they were like, they will tell, like my sisters, they'll be like, I'm so proud of you. Or even my mama, she'll be like, I'm so proud of you. My favorite cousin, she'll be like, girl, I remember back in the day, if somebody said that, you would have did this, girl, you have come a long way. You know what I'm saying? They like congratulate me. So that's interesting to me that it's people in y'all's lives that, don't like the fact that y'all have grown and developed and learned how to not, trigger yourself and do the fool. That's weird. That's really weird. What are you talking about? Answer your call. Who are you? Who are you? Talking about answer my call. Who are you? You said the people want to know because we nosy. Is there a future feminine masculine millionaire in the future? if it's in God's will, if it's in God's will, there will be. Okay. And hopefully God will give me twins. A boy and a girl at one time would be fantastic. That would be the ideal situation for me. If I could just get one of each, like bam, at one time, I would be over the moon. Because I have a really big support system. So I will absolutely positively be leaning into like my family. Okay. Godmama, sister, my mama, aunties. Yeah, y'all come over here and get this baby. Okay. And a nanny. You said they want to see you crash. Why y'all got all these people around y'all that want to see y'all crash out? So I'm gonna say this, like, you do whatever you want to do in your life, but people that want to see you crash out, that want to see you at your worst, like, you have to really evaluate, are they truly your friends, right? Because your friends and people that you're in partnership and relationship with, like long term, they typically want the best for you, right? And they should want to see you at your best. They should want to see you in a higher frequency. They should want to see you being happy. Yeah, like, yeah, okay, monitoring spirits for sure, for sure. I'm not sure if them really your friends. Now I don't know the ins and outs, of y'all's relationship and stuff like that. But thank you, Charmaine. Hey, Charmaine, you better light me up. Charmaine just sent me 5 Thank you. 6 of them. Thank you, Charmaine. Okay, y'all get like Charmaine. Send me 2025. Hey, thank you, girl. But it like that, and that's for real. This anybody that you're anybody that you're dealing with, that you're like, this is my friend or my partner, this is my spouse, or this is someone I'm in a romantic relationship with, like, I'm dating them, I'm seeing them, I'm smexing them. If those people want to see you at your worst, baby, I'm gonna say run away, unless it's some type of extreme situation. I know sometimes people do have family members, because they're lower vibrational, they want to bring you down to be lower vibrational with them. And I will tell you this, I'm a person, I believe in disconnecting from family members too. We may have the same DNA, but that don't mean we got the same spirit. I got a slew of cousins right now. I ain't talked to them in years. Don't regret it. Don't feel bad about it. Probably never will. When somebody die in the family or something, it's a funeral. Oh, hey, how you doing? Good, glad you're looking good. Good to see you. And I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna keep on going. Like because of the pain and the disrespect and the disregard and the consistent boundaries that you crossed over and over and over and over and over again, I know it's not safe for me to be around you. You know what I'm saying? And that is okay. Black people got to stop this thing where they're forcing people to be in connection or be in communication with people just because y'all have the same DNA. Okay. Now, if the people are trying and they're making effort and y'all are growing and developing and stuff, that's a totally different situation. Like, yeah, y'all can be in connection. If there's a plan or a pathway of how y'all can, restore and be in fellowship, right? Because forgiveness takes one, fellowship is plural. Then yeah, that's a whole vibe. That's a whole thing. But this whole, you just gotta take abuse from people because you're related to them. Absolutely not. You do not have to do that. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Like, yeah, I'm talking about even your mama or your daddy. Your mama and you got an abusive mama, because I have someone very close to me in my life, and her mom is absolutely 100% physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive, and I've witnessed it firsthand. I literally have seen, you know what I mean, like the tantrums and the fits her mom has had. I've heard the horrible things her mom has said to her. I'm not talking about secondhand, like she told me, like I have witnessed it. Okay. And so I support her fully, 100% or whatever in her decision. And I share my parents with her at liberty. But like literally there are some people in your life, they are very, very toxic. Okay. And so it's okay to disconnect from them too. You said, yeah, I've met family isn't always blood. I've met people online who are more supportive than the family. Me too. Me too. You said voice to text will get you every time, baby. I'm trying to tell you. Why is that so taboo in our community when it comes to family? Because when you look at the history of Black people being enslaved and brutalized in this country, for a lot of Black people, family really is all that you had. And for most of us, if you come from a healthy family, your family actually is wealth. Being able to combine resources together as a family, so you guys can get a home, you can get property, you can get businesses, you can have insurance, having a family to be able to work your farm and tend to the land, right? To be able to actually feed everyone. So for the most part, when you have a healthy family, yes, but also part of a healthy family, typically the parents are teaching, the siblings how to respect each other's boundaries, how to appreciate and love one another for their differences, how to celebrate one another, and how to have positive conflict resolution. That's typically what happens. But there are different situations where that doesn't happen. Now I don't have to take your insurance, what I'm saying? I mean, but sometimes though, you come from a dysfunctional family, depending on how you grew up, depending on the lack of stability that was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if, for instance, if you unfortunately have a mom who will sell you to the highest bidder so she can keep a roof over her head. Well, when you get older, you're probably going to disconnect from her, right? You have the ultimate betrayal from your mother. She didn't protect you. She let an adult, sexually abuse you, right? And grape you as a child so she can keep a roof over her head. There's no one with any good sense that would be trying to force that daughter to be in relation with her mother. She doesn't have to be. She does not have to be. You know what I'm saying? And it should not be for her own safety, right? Because her mother has showed her through her behaviors that she cannot trust her, and that she indeed will hurt her and put her in harm's way. So literally it depends, you know what I'm saying? It depends on the situation. But just because you don't like your mama attitude, now that's not a way to throw away your mama and be like, oh, you know, I'm respecting my boundaries, I'm never talking to her again. That's silly. You know what I'm saying? That's silly. So so some of the stuff is, thank you, Sheree, for the heart me. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at it, you know, on a situational basis. Those moms that are weird and they'll like date they'll like date their daughter's friends or date their daughter's ex-boyfriends and stuff like that. Yeah, I perfectly understand when people like, yeah, that's my birth, you know, birth portal. I came through that, but I don't deal with that. I get it. My best friend mom never told her she loved her and never hugged or kissed her. Oh my God. That's awful. That's terrible. I don't even know what that's like. My mama like has hugged me every day of my life. Tells me she love. I can talk to my mama 10 times in a day. Her and my daddy, they're gonna tell me they love me every time we got the phone. Even if I called them, hung up, and called them right back because I forgot something, they're gonna say they love me again. Baby, woo, child. You know, I don't know. Like when it's stuff like that, I don't, you know what I'm saying? You pray about it and see what God tells you and see if you can develop that relationship or express to your parent, like, I want a hug from you. I want you to tell me that you love me because I love you too. That sort of type of thing. But baby, I thank God I've never had to deal with stuff like that. That's so sad. You said my parents didn't tell me they loved me until I got grown. And you said it first. Wow. Wow. Do y'all tell each other that, do they tell you that they love you more frequently now? We're very touchy Philly family on each other, and she told me she never had that. Yeah, I've seen that before too. But see, that goes back. Remember when we were talking about like levels of respect and stuff? It's the same thing with levels of love. So you grew up in a touchy Philly huggy family, right? I come from a touchy Philly family too. So that's normal for you, but there are some people that they just grow up in very reserved environments. And so because they grow up in those reserved environments like that, that may be uncomfortable for them, or that may be brand new, and they may be overly stimulated too. Like, oh my God, everybody's running around hugging each other and kissing each other and picking each other up and punching each other in the shoulder. And you know what I'm saying? Like for people that don't grow up in that environment, that's a lot for them to come into a family where everybody's like, oh my God, give me a hug. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't know how to deal with it. So yeah, you said, yeah, they do now. Good, Shay. That makes me really happy to hear. Good evening. My mom used to tell me that she loved me a lot. I really heard it from my dad. Oh, Teresa, do you tell him, be like, Daddy, tell me you love me? You said it's overthinking. It could be. You said, let's see, my mother does that too. We have lost too many family members to not tell each other we love them. Factual. My father's first time telling me he loved me was on his deathbed. Wow. First time hearing it, I was 50. My God. Woo, child, y'all come from some rough and tough tumbleweeds, don't y'all? How did that make you feel? Do you express to your mom and to your family members? Do you have kids? Do you express to them that you love them? You said no. I feel like that's why I don't have a close relationship with my dad. Do you want one? You don't have to have one. I'm just asking out of curiosity. Right. Baby, I don't know what that's like. I definitely came from a family. My mama and daddy, they let us know that they love us, okay? All the time. all the time, okay? They let us know that they love us, okay, and that they care about us. You said, I hope you all heal so you don't treat your own children the same way. Well, see, this is the thing. That's your preference. You see what I'm saying? That's your preference, because some people, they don't think it's anything wrong with it and they like it like that. If you look up some of the, go look up some videos for people that come from a more conservative, reserved family, and then them going into a family where people are very touchy-feely, lovey-dovey. We celebrate all the holidays, we hug and kiss and, you know, all that kind of stuff with each other. They feel like we're too much. You see what I'm saying? So when you say, I hope that you heal so you don't treat your children that way, it may not be anything that they need to heal from. You see what I'm saying? Now, if that person ascertains and they say, this is something that's bothering me, this is something that I need, that I'm not getting, then yes, then you're correct in that assessment. But there are some of them, they be like, they be like, y'all over here, baby, y'all just too much. Okay. Y'all is a whole character show over here. This is a lot for me. Okay. Leave me alone. Do not hug me. Do not touch me. Do not, kiss on me. Don't hold my hand. Don't do that. You said child takes us 30 minutes to say goodbye. Same over here too, Scene Stiller. If you don't love your children and tell them they love you, but that doesn't mean that. You know what I'm saying? There are some people they generally feel like, I love you. You know what I mean? There are some people you don't show that type of affection or emotion, and a lot of old school men are very stoic. You said I was really hurt. My mother has only told me twice. I felt and showed my adult son I love him daily. That's awesome. Now, see, Latanya, I get that. Now, for you, I do. I hope that you're healed and that's not haunting you. For sure, for sure. Hey, Jackie. Let's see. You don't have to repeat the past. Exactly. I didn't hear I love you from my parents growing up. I tell my kids. Yep. You said that's my grandmother. She's not affectionate at all, and I'm super affectionate. There are different ways to show love. Let's see. My point exactly. But that's what I'm saying. That's for somebody that feels like they were missing that. You can't tell somebody because that's not what they were getting that they need to heal. They may not feel that there's anything for them to heal from because they're comfortable with that. You see what I'm saying? That's what's like different people, because I guarantee like them over there not being lovey-dovey and all that kind of stuff, if they felt like they needed it or they wanted it, that is something that they would have been giving out. That's something that they would have been doing. I guarantee they think, I'm telling you, talk to some of these people, they think we're soft. They think we cottonelle, baby, because we over here, I love you, give me a hug, I see you later. They think we're doing too much. I tell my kids I love them, but not lovey and family stuff. They think providing is saying I love you. I didn't grow up with my parents say I love you, but I tell my kids often. Yeah, that's what I say. And sometimes it's a cultural thing too. When I told my grandmother I love her, she said thank you. She feels that her love is evident. See what I'm saying? Evident through her actions, exactly. I'm so grateful that my mother was very loving, even when God called her home a year ago. I was never introduced to "I love you" until I migrated to the USA. See, that's what I'm saying. So, like, to put on somebody to be like, "Oh, you need to heal," they may not need to heal from anything, because just because that's a need that you have doesn't mean that that's a need that other people have. So that's why I was talking about earlier about how different people grow up in different environments in different ways. So can you imagine someone who is like a lovey-dovey, needs that, that affirmation, like they need to hear it like on a daily basis. They need a hug every day. Those sorts of types of things. Getting with somebody who comes from a family that's very reserved and very stoic, and that's not something that you do, you know what I mean? Then they know that their family loves them. That's different, right? So now you can't say that the guy or the girl that's not saying I love you every day to their partner, that they're intentionally trying to hurt their other partner. No, they're not. They just come from two different environments, right? And two different ways. And if this person doesn't say, hey, I need to hear you say I love you every day. I need to hear you say, when I say I love you, I need to hear you say I love you back, because it makes me feel this way, right? This is a requirement for me. And if this is something you can't do, I'll respect it. Just let me know. However, we may not be a good fit for one another. You see what I'm saying? Like that's that. But you can't, you said, I can't believe you're trying to normalize this and blur the lines of affection and love. I can't believe that you're trying to force your agenda, your narrative, and your needs on everyone else. I can't believe that you're trying to project this onto other people. There are so many people that are not lovey-dovey people. They're not, and that is normal for them. And it doesn't mean that something is wrong with them and they need to heal. That's just not true. and I'm not going to agree to it because you don't like it. I go through life and I don't project my desires and my needs in the life that I want to create onto other people. I don't do that. Like it, right? So I knew for a fact I'm an affectionate girl. So yes, I made sure I partnered with a man that was affectionate towards me. He didn't come from a very affectionate family at all. So he loves the fact that we're all lovey-dovey and go on family trips together and tell a lot of jokes and act a fool and do karaoke and you know what I mean, dance breaks and are in the car and all of us are randomly start singing a song together. He likes that, but for some other people that may be too much. And like you know what I'm saying? Like and there are some men that may be overwhelming to them to be inside of that. There are some women that is overwhelming to them to be inside of all of that. As a matter of fact, my best friend, when I first met her, this is before we became friends. This is over 20 years ago. And I knew she was going to be my friend. I was actually doing a fast. Okay. I was doing the Daniel's fast. I think I was like day 20 something in. And anyway, we had talked a few times or whatever, but I had offered her, I think I was eating some green beans or some Brazil nuts or something and offered her some. And I was just like, yeah, I was like, you're going to be my friend. And she looked at me and I just had a big smile and she looked so uncomfortable. I was like, yeah, I was like, we're going to be friends. I was like, give me a hug. Like I was like, she will tell you this. I was like, give me a hug. And I just took and I'm taller than her too. I just like, and she was like, ah, because she doesn't, that's not her. She's not a lovey, like she's not a touchy feely person like that. So I freaked her out when I was like, oh, just give me a hug. And it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that like literally and there's nothing wrong with her, you know what I'm saying? I know her, I understand her very well. I know when she feels like she needs to be left alone. I can tell when she's feeling overwhelmed. I know when I need to be there and not say anything. I know when she wants to have a conversation. I know when she wants to share something and when she doesn't. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with her because she's not running around hugging the world. She doesn't need to heal from anything. You know what I'm saying? That's just not how she expresses herself. You see what I'm saying? And she's a very loving person, but just because someone doesn't showcase love in the way that you do, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them or that they need to heal. And it's not blurring the line of affectionate. Some people are more affectionate than other people, and it doesn't make people that are less affectionate, it doesn't mean that it's something wrong with them either. Everybody has different levels of comfortability, and that's what this is about when it gets into boundaries. You said raised with both parents. They never say they love me, but they show it every day. I told my dad I love him on his hospital bed, and it was the back to me. It was the first time we both said it. Wow. Now, I will say this for those of you that feel like you need to vocalize or verbalize and hear it, I would encourage you to say it to your parents or your family members before someone gets sick, before someone's on a deathbed or a hospital bed. Okay. If that's something that you know that you need, you know what I mean? If that's something you know that you would like, then you absolutely should be saying it, right? But at the same time, you got to respect somebody else's boundary. And so you may say, hey, we don't really say I love you to each other, and I do love you, and I would like to say it, and I would like to hear it more. Are you okay with that? That's the way you approach that. You see what I'm saying? But being like, because now you're respecting their boundaries. You can't make somebody else uncomfortable because it makes you happy. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? You want people to respect your boundaries, but you also need to respect theirs. So then if they say, I don't like it, it make me feel this way, then baby, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Actually, it seems as if you felt that after you read it. What do you mean? Explain it to me a different way. But that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's a real thing. Like you ask them, and sometimes they may have wanted to do it all along, but they were afraid to. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just the way that they grew up. or that's just what they were taught. But they may really like it a lot. You know, you know what I'm saying? To have parents that never say I love you is not normal. To have a partner never say it is not normal. That's not normal to you. For a lot of other people, that is normal and they prefer it that way. That you're projecting. You can't say it's not normal. There are all kinds of other cultures, all kinds of other spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs. There are environments and situations where literally they don't do that because it's a matter of life and death. Like it is not. You said I love love. I love love too, and I understand love comes in a bunch of different shapes, forms, and fashions. So to tell someone that they're not normal or they need to heal because they're not expressing it the way you feel it should be expressed, that's not okay. I always knew I was loved because I was also provided for as a child. Thank you. Like you see what I'm saying? It's a lot always. Exactly. It's a lot of people, they don't grow up hearing I love you every day and they don't need to be healed. And it's not that they're in an abnormal environment either. Everybody has different temperaments. Everybody has different needs. Everybody is modeled different things in front of them. And when you're in the process of setting your boundaries, again, your boundaries have to do with you. It's not about tearing down somebody else. It's not about telling somebody else how they need to live or how they need to behave. That's not what your boundaries are about. Your boundaries are about you and you only, and what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, and what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. So for you, if you're the type of person and you need to be told I love you and have a hug every single day, and somebody says I'm not going to do that for you, well, now you have a decision. Either you're going to carry on that relationship with them or you're going to disconnect. That's it. And then if you tell somebody that and they say, oh, okay, I like that, and they're like, oh yeah, I like saying I love you, this is fun, you know what I'm saying? Oh, do I get my hug today? If they're excited about it, then great, y'all are saying I love you and you're hugging each other. But literally, you can't take your idea of, love or what that should be and put that on somebody else, because now you're disrespecting their boundaries, especially if they're very uncomfortable with it. Also, people can say they love you and never actually show and display that love. It's not about the words. That is true. There are some people that will lie to you, lie to you, look you right in the eye and say, I love you, while they taking a knife and very, very, very true. Very, 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 very true. Very, very true. You said I heard it every now and then, but not always, but I knew I was loved. Exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of people, they don't have to hear it all the time. I remember I was dating this guy, and we grew up in two very, very different environments. This was in college. And he was shocked when I told him that I've never gone a day on the planet Earth without not hearing I love you. He was like, what? I was like, no, it's like every day. I was like, literally every day of my life, someone has always told me that they love me. I've never, like to this day, and I'm almost 40. I'm almost 40. And you're saying it's not normal for people to not be told that. Honestly, it's a lot of people that would say that that is not normal, that is very odd that someone who's almost 40 has every single day that they've been on the planet Earth has been told, I love you. There's a lot of people that have never experienced that. And for some people, that may seem excessive for them. Hey, make it make sense. You said I never heard it growing up, right? So like, but it doesn't. And if that's something that you need, then it's okay to communicate that, right, and get that. But while I'm over here explaining, it doesn't make someone not normal or that they have to heal because they don't come out of that same environment or that hasn't been modeled to them. So when you're setting your boundaries, you can't project what you want and put it on another person and say, oh, well, they don't care about me or they don't love me or it's not this and this and that, because this is not what they're doing. That's not how it works. Now, typically people that do want to keep you around, that do care about you, they may say, that is a new thing for me. I've never heard that before. I've never experienced that before. If you work with me, if you work with me, if you give me time, I can work on that. It's not that showing love is a boundary. You're trying to specify the way that they show it. And again, if that's what you want for you, they don't have to do it. If you decide that because they won't do it, that you need to disconnect from that relationship, then you exercise your power to disconnect from that relationship. But you can't force someone to do something. Like earlier in the example, when we were talking about someone yelling at you, you telling somebody, stop yelling at me, change your attitude, change your tone, that you're putting the onus on them. Your boundary is about you. Instead, you say, hey, I'm uncomfortable with you yelling at me. If you continue to yell at me, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. If you continue to yell at me, I'm gonna end this call. Right? It's on me. The onus is on me. Clearly, they ain't got no problem with it. They yelling, right? And then they're going to make the decision. Either they're going to keep yelling at me. And if you keep yelling at me, then what do? I follow through with what I just told you. I'm leaving because you've crossed my boundary. Or they're going to change the volume in their voice, and we're going to continue on with the communication. We'll continue on with the conversation. And it's the same thing. If I told it, I can't believe you're saying it's okay for people to go through life without love. I'm not saying it's okay for people to go through life without love. I'm saying you're trying to make your form of what makes you feel loved be okay for other people. You're the person that says that those people that aren't experiencing love in the way that you are, that you hope they're healed from that. And what I'm saying, there may not be anything from them to be healed from. What's for you is different for somebody else. So if I'm with somebody, like we're friends, right? Remember I just told y'all the story about my friend, how I come from a huggy, lovey family. And she locked up when I hugged her, right? You see what I'm saying? I crossed her boundary. Just because I like hugs all day, every day, doesn't mean she likes hugs all day, every day. That right? That doesn't mean that she doesn't love me, because she doesn't express it the same way that I express it. So because I love her and she loves me, and we want to make sure each other feels valued and loved in our friendship, right? We make sure to take care of, right? So if I hug her now, it's no big deal. We're going to hug each other, right? Like, oh, okay, hooray, right? But I'm not just going to be overly affectionate with her like that, because that makes her uncomfortable. And that doesn't mean she needs to be healed. I'm not like, oh, something's wrong with you. Who doesn't want to hug every day? No, like, just so you can express in the same way you have boundaries, other people have boundaries. That's all it is. And just because someone's not told every day, you know what I mean, when they're growing up, that, they're just because their parent doesn't audibly say I love you, doesn't mean that their parents didn't love them. I'm telling you, like, especially when you start traveling across the world and you see other people with like different normalities and how people are socialized differently in different cultures, some things that you think are normal, other people think are abnormal. That's what I'm saying. So literally, you said we're having an adult conversation, factual, right? So that's all I'm saying. And when it comes to boundaries, a lot of people, they feel that in order for someone to respect their boundaries, that the other person has to act some way, but that's not true. The onus of the action is on you, because you're the person that has the boundary. And then because I love you, or I care about you, or I want you in my life, I will make the decision to modify my behavior. That's how that works. If you come to me and you say, literally, I just told you I grew up in a family. We were no one has a blockage in their vocal chakra. Nobody in my family. Nobody. Okay. But for some other people, that's a lot for them. Sometimes people need time to process. Sometimes people don't want to talk about it right then and there. In my family, though, we do. We talking about it, and then, oh, what you want for dinner? But for someone else, if somebody else, if they're like, you know what, you hurt my feelings when you did this, I'm not ready to talk to you about it right now. Give me a week or two. Then guess what? I give them the week or two, or I can choose not to give them the week or two. Now, me being me, I'm going to give you the week or two because you expressed to me like, hey, it hurt my feelings, but I'm not really ready to have a conversation right now. And I'm going to say, no problem. This is me. But understand, everybody doesn't have to react this way. I'm going to say, no problem. I am sorry that I hurt your feelings. That was not my intention. And you just reach out to me when you're when you're ready to talk about it. That's it. Now, if a couple weeks go by, I may check in and say, hey, you ready to talk about it yet? If you say no, or if you ghost me, now at that point, you see what I'm saying? What I need is not being met. I gave you your space and your time. Now you ghosted me. At that point, now I'm gonna be like, F it. Okay, like, you see what I'm saying? Now I'm not finna da 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 on you, but I already know, like, you know what I'm saying, the relationship is not whatever I thought it was, but it goes both ways. But it's not, and that's, see what I'm saying, that's my decision. I can't force them to talk to me because I want to talk about it and they don't want to talk about it. But then I have the power to say, well, do I want to stay in connection with this person? Does that make sense? I hope that's making sense. Hey, Savvy Business Chick, thank you for my 2025 glasses. Hugs. Hugs. I love y'all back. You said, see, it's a whole discussion. Let's see. I'm not loved right now because I have standards. Let's see, you're not gonna play in my face. You know if you're being loved correctly. I don't know. I can't really say that because we have things that we like and that what we require, but that doesn't mean that the other person came out of an environment that's okay for them or that's normal for them. And it's nothing wrong with expressing your standards and expressing your preferences and expressing your boundaries. You should express those things because no one's a mind reader. But this whole idea that someone's just supposed to know, no, that is not a smart way to live, and you will ruin you will ruin relationships that could have been some of the most powerful, amazing relationships in your life because you didn't open your mouth and express to someone what you needed, right? And you didn't express to somebody, maybe what a boundary is. When there's a time of maybe turmoil or discomfort or anxiety. Now, once you express it, and if they ignore it, now get on up out of there. But this whole, you should just know what respect is. You should just know what love is. I'm telling you, these things are very different for different people, especially depending on the environment that they grew up in as a child. You down to listen to me? Thank you. Thank you so much. You said, yes, this was what I learned this year. Exactly. It's really that simple. A lot of y'all be tripping. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of y'all be tripping. Y'all be like, they should know. You know what I'm saying? They 30 years old. They 28 years old. They should know. No, they don't know because they do not see the world the way you see it. And what you feel like what's normal, what you feel like they should know, baby, everybody doesn't know that. Everybody doesn't know that. Everyone doesn't see it the way you see it. But this is a good talk though about friends, social stuff, how people are. I love that you had a good family support system and daddy that got you to speak up. I remember you saying you used to be very quiet. Yeah. My daddy definitely was like work with me on being able to speak up and speak out for sure. Because I was a people pleaser for a long time, very, very long time. As my experience being quiet, I got ran over, and then I have that old school type of love, and me people don't respect. I would say this, Bougie, because I'm very similar, and I can relate to you in that. It's not that they don't respect it. It's you probably don't want to hear this, but it really has more to do with a self-respect level with us, and you have to ask yourself, like, why do I keep putting myself in a position where I'm allowing people to take advantage of me? And why am I so comfortable in giving to people and not having an expectation to receive anything back? That right? Because like I'm not telling you to not be a giver, like keep being a giver, but you got to use discernment with who you give to. Because if you're giving or if you're sowing seed on stony ground, on infertile ground, you like that's actually a sin on your side. if that makes sense. And that was something that like I really had to work through and I really had to learn. So I'm not going to close my heart up. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep an open heart. I'm going to keep a really, really big heart. But now I'm just going to use more discernment in who I'm giving my heart to. As a woman, I can express until I'm blue in the face, until men do their part correctly. We will always have these types of conversations. They need to get close to God, period. It is, but it's not like a male female thing. This is just a people thing. Right? My best friend that I'm talking about, she's a girl. We've been friends for over 20 years. And I'm telling you, I straight up disrespected her physical boundaries when I was like, I literally looked at her and was like, oh, you're gonna be my friend. But I've always had this little gift that God has given me when I meet people. Hey, Queen Nisha Levin, when I meet people that I know are supposed to be in my life for a long time, I just know it. I cannot explain it. I just know it. And I knew it. I was like, oh, it's like, this is going to be my friend. And I literally just was like, whoosh, and hugged her. Like, I didn't ask her if she was okay with that. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, if there was too much for her or not. I just hugged her. But I learned, you know what I mean, and I love her, so I always want her to be okay. And she loves me. She always wants me to be okay. So when we get into the boundary conversation, even though, you know what I'm saying, like, well, we've gone from like parental to romantic to friendships to your mutuals, to people that you can be colleagues with. Like, this is a whole thing. You said, I want Ashley Ann to be my friend in my real life. Oh, cupcakes and conversations. I'll be your friend. But you said we soothe them instead of setting them, bump their head and struggle. That brings humbleness. But I mean, I will agree with you on this. I do agree more women and men in romantic partnerships need to communicate better what they need or what they desire and stick with your boundaries. A lot of women could evade a lot of stuff if they would stick with their boundaries. A lot of women know they should have left or they should have checked out or they should have stopped talking to a man, and women will keep on talking to the guy. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what's wrong with you? Oh, Cupcakes, I can't be your friend, Cupcakes and Conversations. She said I can't have no more friends. I'm at my friend limit. So that's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm for real. Like, if you're a woman and you keep ending up in relationships where you are like habitually getting mistreated, habitually getting mishandled, habitually being disrespected, you're the common denominator. There comes a time you have to ask yourself, why am I allowing people to keep disrespecting my boundaries? Or why have I not set up any boundaries when it comes to a relationship? And that's a real thing. And that's a conversation people don't want to have. Oh, wow. One of your fake pages just sent me a follow notification. Oh, baby, block them, honey. It's like, oh, if you're new to the kingdom over here on TikTok, they're like over 100 fake accounts of me. Just block them. If you'll see a bunch of fake accounts on Instagram and stuff too, just block them. Any of you guys that are new, I have like over 1 million followers on the gram. So I'm popular over there, and 250,000 or so on Facebook. So yeah. So there's a lot of like clone accounts of me. If somebody's in your DM talking about come to my crypto course and stuff, it's fake. Block them. Typically I don't reach out to y'all first because there's more of y'all than there are of me. So a lot of times, unless it's a free course, and then there's normally a link in my bio and you can get the free course or the free class, or I may drop a link in the DM to the free course when we, because sometimes I'll make a course free for like 2 days or 3 days or something like that. But yeah, just block them, baby. It's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. I'm sorry. Am I joining fan base? I don't know yet. I haven't decided. In the Black community, we always try to save these men. We give, and don't receive. We got to stop making excuses. We shouldn't, as women, be sitting here talking about men, huge flag. Nobody was talking about men. You brought up men. So you got men on your mind. And I rebuke what you're saying. You're telling a lie. I have so many Black men in my life who have been amazing to me, kind to me, wonderful to me, stood up for me, helped me get jobs, networked with me, came to work with me, defended me, like Black men that have literally invested into me. So I don't have that experience, and I honestly feel like that's a white woman narrative that they put into our community to destroy it. And it makes me sad that there are so many Black women that believe it. Like they're like, this is the thing: women in all communities give to their men, and men in all those different communities give to their women. Like, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. So this whole narrative that Black women just like Black men just take from us, that's not true. If you're dating a lower vibrational bum dude, that happens to be Black, then that may be your experience. And then again, I would ask you to ask yourself, why do you keep attracting guys that are losers? Why do you attract men that only want to take from you? And why aren't you communicating appropriate boundaries with these men and not betraying yourself and standing on your boundaries? This election past that, Black men was going hard for Kamala. Black men were standing up. They were like, I'm thinking about my grandma. I'm thinking about my mama. I'm thinking about my daughter. They're like, I'm thinking about my aunties. This is why I'm voting for them. Keep in mind, over 80% of Black men voted in line with Black women. So I don't subscribe to that. Black men love me. Shout out to all the Black men. I love y'all. Thank y'all for loving me. Black men pull up. Black men, the first people on TikTok that actually started following me, gifting me, sharing out my lives, all kinds of stuff. No, dog. I can't say that. I can't relate. My daddy is a Black man. First Black man I ever met on the planet Earth. And he loved me down real bad. He loved my mama real bad too. They've been married for, this year is going to be 42 years that they have been happily married. Ain't no outside kids. My daddy ain't abused my mama. He don't call her out of her name. He has never her, no financial abuse, none of that. My mama is a very happy woman. Very happy woman. Black baby, a Black queen with her Black king. So I don't know. I don't know. When y'all be coming over here with that weird feminism stuff, nah, dog. Like I'm not the one. I have a lot of Black men that are my mutuals online as well, and they support me, help me, dap me up. I got my first TEDx speaking engagement because of a Black man. Like, right? One of my bros, he was just like, oh my God, you need to get King Ashley in on such and such and such. Literally called me, was like, hey, you got 10 minutes to talk, put me on the phone with the guy that was choosing the speakers for the TEDx program. So the late great attorney John Walker, when I first opened my business, when I was like 21 years old, down on Main Street, took me underneath his wing. Nothing nasty, nothing perverted, nothing. He just seen a young Black girl trying to do something positive with herself, and he looked out for me. And that man is a legend. Okay, attorney went to the Supreme Court several times, won every single time that he went. Okay, for civil rights and stuff like that. So I don't have that experience of Black men not giving to me. I strongly, and people don't like it when I say this, but I don't care, since we'd have brought it up. I strongly feel when Black women are having these experiences of like, oh, these men only take from me, it really has a lot more to do with you as a woman and the type of men that you are selecting and the frequency that you're tuned into with those men. Because like this girl and I dated the same guy. Two totally different experiences. She was like, oh, he's cheap. He never took me out. He saying he didn't really have no game. He wasn't really trying to do a lot. We pretty much just that was her experience with this man. I dated the same guy. I was like, cheap. I was like, what you talking about? I'm like, he spends money all the time. I'm like, oh, he bought me a bracelet that's iced out. I had on a necklace. I said, this little diamond necklace. He bought this for me too. He takes me on trips all the time. We're always going out. I was like, and we hadn't even hit. Like, he hadn't even hit. Like, I was like, what? He sent me flowers, always complimentary. As a matter of fact, the first day that we met at a real estate conference. And he was like, oh, have you had dinner yet? And I was like, no, I haven't had dinner yet. And we went to like a mid-range restaurant. The ticket was about $150, $160 that night. That was like literally our first night that we went out. And we stayed in the restaurant talking for like 3 or 4 hours. I was like, literally same guy, just very different experiences, right? But I'm the type of woman you can tell in the way that I communicate my boundaries. He already knew you have to take me out. I never told that man you have to buy me jewelry to be with me. He just bought it because I was like, oh, it's like, I like this. I was like, this is cute. And he would notice what my jewelry looked like when I showed up on dates. Baby, I walk in, Shanae down, Louis down, Diamond down. He knew what was up. I carry myself in a particular type of way. So, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I love flowers. I love, like, he noticed that I like flowers. I was always, oh, I love flowers. I love flowers. Flowers make me so happy. Every 2 weeks, that man was sending me flowers. So a lot of times when women are having this experience and they're trying to paint like all black men, like they're the boogie bear or the big bad wolves, and people don't like to hear it, it really has more to do with you and what you're communicating. And remember, the majority of communication is nonverbal. So how are you showing up with these men? How's your banter with these men? What are you saying with these men? What's going on with your outfit, with your dress, with your facial expressions? You know what I mean? When you're talking to them about your boundaries, are you trying to make it so that there are things that they need to do? Or are you the one speaking about what you're going to do and what you're going to change if something doesn't happen? Because a lot of times men are sizing us up and a calculator is running on them and they're trying to figure out, like, how much do we cost? So I don't know. Like, for the most part, black men love me. Thank you for my glasses. I'm changing these. I can't sit here and go with that lie. I do not. Look, I hate to disappoint y'all, but I do not subscribe to the, black men are the big bad wolves. Black men only take from us. Black men only hurt us. I feel like if you were a white woman and you exclusively dated white men, you would have the same thing to say. If you're an Asian woman and you exclusively dated Asian men, you would have the same thing to say. If you're an Indian woman and you exclusively dated Indian men, you would have the same thing to say, because it's not about them being black. It's more about characteristics of different human beings and what you are interacting with. I hate it when people say, we are what we attract. That's not true. We are what we interact with. Because there's always all these different choices and options around, and you have to figure out, why do you keep choosing trash? It's kind of like you sitting up making excuses for your hurt, saying this and that. But girl, it's not normal to be doing a whole live talking about how men aren't healed or they are hurt. Who has done a whole live talking about how men aren't healed or hurt? What are you talking about? Are you on drugs? I see that you're committed to misunderstanding. Our live is about setting boundaries. And we've gone through all kinds of rules and parameters for you to have on yourself. And actually, when you made your comment, we were talking about parents. When we were talking about the I love you, we were talking about parents. We clearly see who's mad and upset that she doesn't have a man. Now, see, who is this over here talking about people need to be healed? This is somebody that needs to be healed because she's hearing what she wants to hear. She's on a whole nother conversation, a whole nother dimension. I hope you get some help, though. And I hope you can get to a point where you make better selections in the men that you choose to have in your life. You said been in the bushes, but who this talking mess? Carla, oh, chat, I don't know. Somebody real confused. Somebody real confused. Exactly. This live is optional, baby. You do not have to stay. You can keep on swiping. Right, way off. Way off. Well, like what? Glorious lies, girl. I don't know. She over here talking about we having a whole live about men not being healed, and that is not what we've been talking about at all. At all, child. And she confused, like she may have been sipping. People like to sip and scroll. Okay, some of y'all be sipping and y'all be scrolling and getting confused, baby. Sip and scroll responsibly, okay? Because a child, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, princess, I have no idea. That's what it's like, baby. Are you okay? Are you on drugs, honey? Some of y'all do be doing drugs. I learned that when I would get on the beanbowl. I've never seen that many people doing drugs on camera before in my life. It was shocking. I was like, my God. Okay. A lot of y'all like to escape, okay? And y'all like to sip and smoke a lot. Okay. Again, you work on yourself, right? Remember we talked about the pies in the beginning. The physical, right? Your information or your income, your emotions, and your spirit. You work on them pies, baby. Get yourself right. You said, true, my first and still husband of 6 years loves me verbally and spiritually, even with dementia. Oh, that's sweet. Hey, digital marketing skillionaire, what's going on? Turks and Caicos. Ooh, I bet you it's way warmer there than here. You said puff puff pass, baby. Look, look when they smoke it, it's not on puff puff pass because this is one thing I know. I've been around enough people that puff puff pass. They normally have very deep thoughts, okay, and there's a lot of things that they normally wouldn't be able to connect the dots on or piece together when they not puff puff passing that they can when they puff puff pass. Our valedictorians of our high school were puff puff passers. I know people that will puff puff pass before they go to work and before they take tests, baby, and can fly in colors. So I'm not going to say that. You say you are what you attract. No, you are what you interact with. We attract a lot. Okay, think about it like this. You're a light. Okay, you're a light. Like I want y'all to think about a light, especially a light that's outside. Okay, that it gets dark. Okay, the light is still on. All kinds of things fly to the light. Bats fly to the light. Insects fly to the light. Butterflies fly to the light. Moths fly to the light. People go to the light. Okay, these are. Is a person a light? Is a bat a light? Is an insect a light? Is the moth a light? You know what I'm saying? They're not lights. Okay, that light attracts a multitude of different things. Light also attracts other light. Light typically will interact with other light and it grows or glows bigger. Light interacts with other light and it changes and shifts the colors that we see, right? So it's not we are what we attract. That's because I hate it when people say that because a lot of y'all think because you attracted a narcissist to you, does that mean that you're a narcissist? Some of y'all think because you attracted like a negative result or negative opportunity or like let's say a scammer. Let's say you got scammed by somebody when you're trying to do business or something. Does that make you a scammer? No, it doesn't, right? But it may make you foolish if you're interacting with a foolish person. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like we are what we attract. Like you being you, especially if you are an attractive man or woman, you're gonna attract a multitude of things. If you're a man or woman and you are kind of going up in the career field, or you're a public figure, you're gonna attract a bunch of different beings that want a bunch of different stuff from you. So it's really not. It's really not. We are what we attract because you attract a lot of stuff. You attract a lot of people. Okay? You attract a bunch of different energies. It's what are you choosing to interact with? That really says more about yourself and how you feel about yourself. So you know what I'm saying? Like if you attract chaos, I guarantee you probably attracted peace too, and you turned your back on peace because peace didn't seem interesting to you. Like I know girls that come from very straight laced families and backgrounds, and they love dating bad boys. They love dating thugs. Ain't nothing thuggish about her. Okay, ain't a baby. Can't even spell the word thug. All right. However, she'll be engaging. She'll be interacting with that because that may be what she finds exciting, or that may be what she sees is on the level that she's on. You know what I'm saying? I had the same experiences. Men who really like you automatically want to add to your value. Exactly. Men that like you want to add to your value. A lot of y'all be out here dating men and women that don't like y'all, but that's another story. That's another story. I'm not gonna dread on that too long. That is another story, baby. A lot of y'all like men and women that don't like you back. And I be like, why are you doing this to yourself? Just go where the people like you. My God. My God. Okay. Tasha said it's not that difficult. I be like, baby, I be like, y'all love somebody that don't want you. I be like, I only want who want me. Okay. That's because I don't understand this thing. Like, where every like 30 days somebody gets on the internet and they talk about what they don't like. Like, okay, like they'll be like, I don't like big women. So why are you telling us this? No one cares. If you don't like big, it's weird, right? Because you find what you focus on. They're not getting on saying, I really would like a girl that's slim, thick, or something. If that's what you want, talk about what you're attracted to. Why are you on here talking about what you don't want and what you don't like? Or they'll get on like that girl. She's like, I'm not dating black men anymore. Why do you feel the need to make this proclamation online and tell us that you're not dating black men anymore? Just don't date them. You know what I'm saying? Just don't date them and have fun. Like, I don't understand this thing where people feel like they got to get online and proclaim to everybody what they don't want. Like, can we talk about what we do want? Can we talk about what we are looking for and leave everybody else alone? You said because they secretly want them. That's probably what it is. Right. Okay. I don't want nobody that don't want me. You said attention, bottom line. It is because I'm like, baby, we just over here minding our business. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. Like, what's that guy in the Philippines? They got up there talking about how Philippine women are more attractive than black women, and talking about black women and our noses and surgery and stuff. What? Like, sir, y'all are obsessed with black women. Leave black women alone. Or that girl that got on the internet talking about black don't crack, but beige don't age. What black? We minding our business. We not over here worried about beige people. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you bringing us up? So like, it's very odd watching people like attack other groups of people, like especially they love to attack black women like unprovoked out of nowhere. We're just minding our business, living our lives, and here comes somebody with something to say about black women. It's weird. Now that right there, they need to be healed. That's weird. That's weird. That's very strange. Very, very strange behavior. Black women just be out here minding our business, honey, trying to, keep our edges, maintain our link, be on the spiritual journey, get your fitness together, organize your house. We just out here trying to live and be happy. And all of a sudden, here comes somebody with some little weird stuff towards you. And you like, what? Like, why are you firing shots at me? I'm literally in my house minding my business. So yeah, that's a weird thing too. That is weird. That is weird. I will say that. Now, people that are doing that, and this is anybody, if you find the need that you're attacking somebody or looking down on somebody and they haven't done anything to you, haven't said anything to you, you're probably jealous. And you should figure out what it is that's making you feel insecure and what's making your jealousy rise up in you to attack these other groups of people. You definitely should get that checked out. And I mean that sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Okay, y'all. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight is setting boundaries. And I hope that this is really, really helpful to you. Remember, boundaries is about controlling your experience, not controlling other people's experience. Okay, that's your boundaries. And in order for it to be a boundary, you have to speak to the other person to let them know what you're needing or what you're desiring. Okay. And after you've put it out there, you have to follow through with your action. Okay. Okay. You can't say, I'm going to stop talking to you if you do XYZ element of P, and then they do XYZ element of P and keep talking to them. That's not going to work. Okay. You're going to find out that people are going to be like, oh, she's just talking to her. She ain't going to do nothing. Then you're going to be out here sad in these streets. That's how that works. That's how that works. Okay. You said my mom is so jealous of me. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. I could literally be sitting there praying and she trying to slay me. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus, we gonna pray for it that that's delivered off of her. Are you a daddy's girl by any chance? Just wondering. That's sad though. Hopefully God is able to mend y'all's relationship and take that jealous spirit and jealous eye off of her so that she wants to support you and love you and uplift you and sees, push you because she sees that you can do things that she wasn't able to do. Oh. Charmaine, you said no need for them to guess what's wrong. They need to read my mind, period. That's the way somebody out here acting. They be like, just read my mind. I don't know, Ashley. Ashley, we'll be praying. If it's okay, I'll pray for you. I'll add you to my prayer list because that's a hard situation to be in, to have a mama that's jealous of you instead of a mama that, wants to love on you and uplift you. Yeah. I'm gonna be praying for you because that's a hard one. Hopefully God will heal her heart and change that. That's terrible. Baby, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I thank y'all for being vulnerable, especially when y'all come in and share things. And y'all, we didn't open up the boxes tonight, but when y'all come on and y'all share the different things that y'all are going through, for anybody, that needs healing because you had a jealous parent or an abusive parent or a hurtful or a harmful parent, I'm definitely praying with you and for you, that situation is turned around and changed in whatever way, is going to be best for you. Whether that's a no contact, whether it's a change in their behavior and their actions, whether it's an apology, whether you're able to, get your healing through your manifesting your relationship with your child, whatever that is. I'm really, really hoping that you guys have healing with that. Because I'm going to tell y'all this. Some of y'all have been dealt, a tough hand out the gate with having that type of parent, but it's nothing that you can't overcome, right? And it's not how we start the race, it's how we finish the race. So just keep that in mind, right? You get to be happy, you get to create the life you want to live, you get to create the space you want to live, you get to be in communion and fellowship with who you want to be in communion and fellowship with. But yeah, like and I'm very inspired by y'all because y'all have the ability to still be positive and to still be kind to other people, even though your parents weren't necessarily the kindness to you. So that says a lot about y'all and what beautiful, beautiful beings of light y'all are. So you helped me mentally for the past 7 years with your lives. Your voice uplifts me. Oh, that makes me happy. All right, y'all. Y'all have a happy Saturday. I'm fixing to go and cook some sweet potato soup. I love a good sweet potato soup. I got some carrots and some onions. I got some scallions. I got some sweet potatoes. It's like 20 something degrees outside. So I was like, let's make some sweet potato soup. And I got some Havarti cheese. So I think I'm going to do some Italian sausage and Havarti grilled cheese sandwiches to go with the sweet potato soup. Oh my God. It's going to be so good. I don't know. I should record it because it's going to be delicious, but I don't know if I'm going to record it because I'm hungry and I can cook way faster when I don't record. I'm just telling the truth. My God. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for coming to hang out with me. I will talk to y'all later. If y'all are not in the Royal Court, click the link in my bio, scroll down to the free 99 side and join the Royal Court. That's my community where I'll be able to email you guys and text y'all and all that good stuff so we can stay connected. And then, yeah, that's all I need to say right now. Oh, Charmaine, thank you for my, what is that, a window? What is that? That was so pretty. Night Star, thank you for my Night Star. Yeah, we got Glorious Locks, we got 8 inches of snow. That's crazy. Thank you for my heart. Well, we got 9. It melted down to 8 today. But like that's wow, because it doesn't snow and stuff like that here. And it's like snow. It's so fluffy. It's so pretty. Thank you for my 2025 glasses, Jay Janice. Is yeah. We got like 9 inches, but it stopped snowing. Did it stop snowing yesterday morning? No. Was it yesterday morning? I think it started snowing yesterday morning, like around 11 or 12. Thank you for my 2025's Glorious Locks. So, yeah, girl, we got the snow. Honey, I got me some cute pictures, though, outside. I got to put on my fur boots and all that good stuff. I was like, yeah, okay. People's got, because I saw like the snow day in Atlanta. It looked like they only got like 3 or 4, but we had like snow here. Yeah, it's still cold outside, baby. I'm over it. It can go right back to where it was. Well, actually, I'm not lying. I'm not over it because I have some cute winter coats, and so I got to wear my coats. So yeah, like it's 20. It says it's 29 degrees. It'll be 26 degrees in a few minutes here. So I mean, that seems like good weather for soup, right? 28. Dang, I'm trying to see. Okay, it looks like tomorrow though it may get up into the 40s. So all our snow will probably be melted by Tuesday then. Where's that pretty car, baby? In the garage. Ain't nobody finna be in no drop top in the snow now. That's out of control. We're not doing that. Okay, it's snow on the ground, 4-wheel drive all day. We in the big truck. We're in the big truck.